Okay, boys and girls, in this segment, we are going to dissect the heart. Now, I have two different types of hearts. I have two pig hearts and two goat hearts. And we are not going to dissect the goat hearts, but we are going to open up one of the pig hearts. And in the first segment, I'm going to show you what the outside of these hearts look like and what the different structures are. In the second segment, we're going to open them up and show you the ventricles and atriums and the four valves and the all the just different main arteries and veins that go in and out of the heart. And then in the third video, I am going to actually take a heart that I haven't looked at or opened up yet, and we're going to cut it open by looking at the valves and the arteries and the veins, and cut them open to see the two different atriums and the two ventricles, see how the blood flows through the heart. So here we go. Okay, this heart is a pig heart, and it's very close to a human heart with the anatomy, and so that's why I chose this. Now, I purchased this from Carolina Biological, and it was soaked in Carolina Biological Perfect Solution. So it's not formaldehyde. They used to use formaldehyde in the old days, but now they use this Perfect Solution, they call it. And it doesn't smell too bad, so it's not, as bad as it was in the old days when some of you folks that are my age may have had to dissect things. Now, if you look at this heart, the way I told the children was that the heart is like a house with 2 rooms at the top and 2 rooms at the bottom. The 2 rooms at the top receive blood, and they're called atriums. Now, in this heart, there's an atrium there, and there's the other atrium there. And the job of the atriums is to receive blood, and they receive blood through veins, through the superior vena cava, and that comes in from the body into the right atrium. And this is the right atrium right here, which is, this atrium is kind of stuck together because of the Perfect Solution has kind of made it pretty tough. It doesn't look very big, but when it fills up with blood, it's bigger. So the blood comes in to the superior vena cava right through here. And that's the superior vena cava, and it comes into the atrium through that. So if I stick my finger in there, I can actually feel that right atrium. And the right atrium is also where electricity is created in the heart, and that is the heart's natural pacemaker starts right up in here, and it brings electricity through the whole heart, which is very, very cool. So our hearts are like little power plants. They can actually move a vehicle 20 miles per day. In your lifetime, the heart can generate enough power to get you to the moon and back, which is quite amazing. So the blood comes in through right there, through the superior vena cava, comes into the right atrium. And down here is the right atrium. Now, the right atrium is much smaller than the left atrium because it doesn't have to work so hard. All the blood that gets pushed out of the right ventricle, did I say atrium? This is the right ventricle, this is the left ventricle. Right atrium, left atrium. So the blood comes in through the atrium, down into the ventricle, and then it gets pushed out into the lungs through the pulmonary artery. So that's the job of this side of the heart. The other side of the heart receives blood from the lungs, and this is the left atrium. It goes down into the left ventricle, and then it gets pushed up through the left ventricle, through the aortic valve, into the aorta, which is up here at the top. There's 3 arteries that come out through the top, and they go to your head, your brain and your arms. And, well, your head and your brain, your arms and your legs. So this brings, these arteries out here bring the blood to your entire body. And it comes from down here. Now the reason this side of the heart is bigger than this side and stronger, if you feel this muscle right here in the left ventricle, it's much tougher than the right, is because it has to work harder. And it has to push the blood up and out further than the right side. The right side just takes blood to the lungs, so it doesn't have to move that far. So this beautiful artery right here is called coronary artery. And some of you have heard, oh, so-and-so had a coronary heart attack. Well, that happens when these coronary arteries get plugged up. And what I always tell my students is you don't want to eat too many French fries and hamburgers and macaroni and cheese and hot dogs, because that's what plugs up these arteries. And you could get a major aorta, a major heart attack that way, coronary artery heart attack. So this down here is called the apex, down at the bottom. And up here, I don't know why, but this is called the base of the heart. So this is the front of the heart, this is the back. Arteries are the two rooms or chambers at the top, and the ventricles are the two rooms or chambers at the bottom. This is the coronary artery. This is the aorta, where all the blood flows to the rest of the body. And where is that superior vena cava? I think it is, I showed you a minute ago. I lost it. It's back here somewhere. It's really hard. Oh, here it is. Okay, here's the superior vena cava here. And this is the pulmonary artery, where the blood comes out of the right ventricle and out into the lungs. It splits into the lungs. So there you have the outside of the heart. And in our next video, I will open it up and show you the inside of the heart.